Hey guys, welcome back to your favorite booktuber, not YouTuber. Well, I guess you can say YouTuber. Welcome back to Kevin Reads. Today we're reading The Art of Work by Jeff Gollins. This is a continuation of the book that we've read last week. And to be honest, when I first read this book, right, The Art of War by Jeff G, I did not like it. I thought it was just a bunch of fluff, self-help book. But towards the last part of it, I actually got into it. Like I was saying, guys, this is a complimentary video podcast to my daily podcast. I try to talk about a book a day. So follow me on Goodreads and subscribe from all of your favorite podcast listener. And let's get right into today's podcast. All right. So, how to find your calling at work, right? So we talked about it last week where we are supposed to manage your time as a portfolio, right? The idea was recognizing the imbalances within your time portfolio, right? You have homework, right? The stuff that you do at home, hang out with family. You have, like paid work, right? Or your side hustle, your hourly work, or your salary work, right? Your profession, your career. So this actually goes hand in hand with that idea as well, because you can only get a foundation first of how your time is being separated or how your time is being used so that you can use it to find your calling, right? We always say, right, this is the way, this is that way, do what you love. This is what Jeff thinks is properly the way of us to find your calling. So let's start here. We talk about manage your time as a portfolio. Jeff argues that you should also manage your work as a portfolio as well. The reason being is, let me ask you this, right? When you are working, either for your past job or current job, whatever, do you only just do one thing? Do you only just do one task all day long? Like what's it called? The factory workers, right? That only do that one thing, do that one turn. Most of us are not doing that right now, right? So what that means is we are all carrying on different functions and different ideas and different tasks per day. And it's really important to see what kind of time or what kind of work portfolio that we're dedicating to each function, right? Because of the fact that you carry out more function when you're working, then it's really important to look at what exactly are you spending your day on, right? Are you checking your email first? How long are you checking your email? How long are you taking a break? How long are you mentally engaged? How long are you actually blocking your time? How are you scheduling your appointments? And there was a LinkedIn survey. It's actually my favorite. The higher up as you go within a corporate structure, or we call it, you're an executive. On the resume, you're gonna see that person dabble into more and more different job experiences, right? As a recruiter, maybe a salesperson, maybe a trainer, all that stuff. Now, moving on to the next thing. Oh, this is a GIF. I didn't realize that. Let's talk about hobbies. Jeff, the author, he hates the idea of a hobby. The reason is that if he thinks that if you put it a title on it, let's say hobby, what's gonna happen is you don't treat it seriously. You do not treat it as something that you actually do or something that you actually want to devote time. Yeah, it's just something that I do when I get time, and then I'm busy most of the time, so I'm not gonna do it, right? So hobby, according to Jeff, is something that we use to quote unquote find excuses to not do it, right? Or find excuses to not follow through with a certain thing. So the thing is with hobby, considering, right, you are what you do and you will become what you practice. Same thing with let's say a workout, let's say an instrument, right? For me, I like to play poker. I like to play pool. I feel like poker really strengthened my decision making process, and pool is all about techniques and mentals and planning as well, right? So I personally take my hobbies very seriously, but here's what Jeff thinks about them. So if you guys are thinking about this whole idea of work, right? This whole idea of time, money, and value. Typically, right, like we are trading our time for money, right? We are showing up to work, we're just there for 8 hours, 9 hours, whatever. Then we are trying to work to live, to pay up, to get a paycheck, to trade time, to pay the bills. That is typical, right? I just realized that I put too typical on there. But anyway, it's very important that you realize that was typical. Jeff believed that we need to switch that model. We need to live to work, right? We need to kind of embody our self-identity or purpose into the work that we're doing. And that way, work becomes play, right? I think one of the examples that I'm thinking right now is actually Richard Branson, right? The Virgin Airlines. And the goal here is to really define work in a very, very broad sense, right? For me, reading book is work, right? Like my formal job is work. Doing this YouTube channel is work. But for me, reading is playing time for me. Reading is time that where I can explore other ideas, that we can actually do investigation. And then that feeds into the daily podcast that I'm doing and this weekly video podcast that I'm doing as well. So in a sense that our job here is to see work as means or ways to make us better. Either that could be in a professional sense or personal sense. It's not only or just a way to get us richer, right? Whenever we're doing a job switch or you're getting a new job, the primary distinction that matters is money. But I think most of us did not understand is, okay, if we are just richer, then what is our purpose, right? So it's a balance that we have to go through right here. The last thing I want to talk about today is flow state, or what you call it, in the zone, right? I want to challenge you guys to think, when was the last time that you feel like you were in the zone when you were doing anything, right? I had a couple times in my previous job. I had it when I'm reading, when I'm just completely zoned in, right? Just in flow, just information flowing in and out. And when I'm playing basketball or something, the game just slows down, right? This should happen whenever you are in an intense state. And this is not really just for fun, right? Like playing video games, like in the zone, right? Call of Duty, NBA 2K. It's really something that you can actively seek out when you are working, when you are doing your job. And this kind of a flow state also plays into another perspective that I want to talk about, is this kind of like path between what are you good at and what challenge you. I think flow state can only happen when you are challenged or properly challenged, right? Here's what I mean. If you're not properly challenged, if the thing is too easy for you, then there's no personal growth involved, right? But if it is too difficult for you, like for me, if you want to force me to read a textbook on theoretical physics, right, that will give me anxiety. I was like, why would I even read this? Why do I need to do this at all, right? So like previously we talked about, this should be a balance, right? This should be something that you put on the scale. You need to be properly challenged to get into flow, but you need to be able to make sure that there's not that much difficulty involved as well. So what is the formula, right? If we can summarize this whole entire podcast down to the formula, it should be difficulty plus competency. Did I spell that right? I think so. Equals purpose, right? I'm gonna circle it and recircle it. I'm gonna say 2 more times. Difficulty plus competency equals purpose. Difficulty plus competency equals purpose. Okay, so what should we do? Like, what should be our compass? What should be our way to lead us to finding our callings at work? The path, right? Oh, this is very, very philosophical. This is the path. Step 1, figure out your portfolio. Let's start with time, right? I showed you guys my portfolio last time. Let's start with time, kind of like see, okay, when I'm at work, when I'm at home, what kind of a time I'm allocating towards this certain thing and that certain thing, and really balance it out. And secondly, really trying to channel your portfolio to your calling. And that is the tough part, right? I cannot answer for you. You know, like Bob, or you, Sally, you deserve to be doing this, and I become God, right? So find a way to tweak your portfolio to your calling, and please, please, please make sure that you are being challenged. Make sure that you are being challenged properly, not too much, not too little, so that we can promote growth in the process. Okay, cool. Let's call it for today. Thanks for watching. Thanks for bearing with my crappy handwriting. Hopefully you guys find enough value in this. You can sub and ring the bell. And this is Kevin signing off. Have a good one, guys.